Corvettes, baby. You
We're
can't tell
back.
by the shirt. You know what? Pop a button. Why not, right? It's Corvette Day after all. This week we've looked at every single Corvette in a salvage auction all across the country. We found the best of the best, the worst of the worst, the weirdest of the weirdest, even though I'm not sure that that's a saying. And we're going to rank them from 1 New Balance to 5 New Balance. Then, of course, there's the Juke tier. Now, keep in mind, when I select these cars, I only see a small little thumbnail. So all this is new to me, just like it is to you. And we're starting with a banger. A C7 ZR1. I've seen maybe, since they came out, 10, 15 of these ever run through the auction. They are rare. And this one, it's rare. It's in rare condition, I guess. Certificate of salvage via theft. It's a Pennsylvania title, and the car is now in Alabama, which is always kind of weird.
Big red flag.
It can be a red flag, but this car's a walking red flag. So, like, I guess it doesn't matter as much.
It's weird that they actually stole them, but they leave the blower there.
Very weird. So this is definitely one of the oddest stripped Corvettes I've seen. You have that beautiful LT5 engine sitting right in front of you, and you don't take it. Not a good thief, if I'm being honest.
Yes.
Yeah, they just stole.
Seats, steering wheel, nothing else.
Okay.
Hood.
Yeah, I mean the hoods are expensive,
Yeah.
but the engine bay is basically untouched. I think maybe they got caught in the process. That's happened to us before. Let me.
Oh, no.
That we've bought cars where that has been the case before.
Yes.
The Demon 170, that thing was seconds from being gone. This thing's on Z06 wheels too, which is kind of odd.
Queer.
But the brakes are there. This is odd. Now,
Would you risk it?
that is the question. Do I want to risk it? Yes, hell yeah, I want to risk it. But it's gonna pull a ton of money because it's so undamaged. I don't know. What do you?
Right in the middle.
I guess, yeah. There's no real good sound logic for this one. It's probably going to be expensive, but it's kind of nice. But it's a pile, so
Yeah.
3 New Balance.
Ooh. What happened here?
The old In Flames Corvette. Never fails. These cars have a massive fire problem. They just catch on fire. And it sucks, man. It really sucks. Beautiful Grand Sport, red, black wheels. It's got that same fire that a lot of them have. Though, you usually don't see it on the rear end as well.
Yes.
These cars constantly catch on fire on this driver front side, and I'm not like losing my sentence there. I'm not having a stroke. I saw something while I was saying that gave me pause. You see that front lip broken?
Yes.
Now that could have happened by the tow truck after the fire,
Or
coupled with the fact that the rear end is burnt, this might not be the typical fire. But let's see. The click through the interior to get to where I'm going anyway. It's got red interior. Red on red. Winner.
auto.
Winner. Auto's not great, but you know, whatever. Okay, now this is what we want to see. The engine bay. Now, oh man, a lot of times, this fire is caused by 2 things. One, an aftermarket fuel rail or some kind of fuel line adapter or an ethanol content sensor that isn't done the best and starts to leak. This has one of those. I'm not saying it's the reason it's on fire, but you can see right here, clear as day, it's an ethanol content sensor. The other way these things catch on fire is because people put long tube headers on them and leave the factory clutch line about this far away. It's a really easy mistake to make. For that reason, these cars just constantly catch on fire in that corner. If you're lucky, you catch it early. If you're not, kind of looks like this.
It's gone. It's a wide body.
Yeah, it's a wide body. Now, is this car fixable? Yeah.
100%.
Is it best fixed or is it best used as a parts car? I don't know. It's right on that line.
I will go with parts.
Yeah, it depends how much heat the frame took, I guess,
Yeah.
right? These are steel frame cars. If it was an aluminum frame Z06,
That'll be more concerning.
pretty much a write-off. It'd be a great car to rebuild. It's an awesome car to part out. There's a lot of big money here. All that red interior, the wide body panels. Maybe there's some stuff salvageable in the engine. which it's really hard to tell.
Really hard.
As far as mods, you can see it had an intake, maybe like some type of breather over there, and it was on ethanol, which is the weird part. Maybe it's a built motor, maybe it's heads, cams. I don't heads, cam, not a Coyote guy. Really almost screwed up there. I don't know. Kind of a tough one. I think it's a nice car for either thing. It might, I mean, the engine's bad, so people might not pay that much money for it. I'm going 4. Four shoes. I second guessed it there for a second. 4 shoes.
2.
Okay, I guess it's 3. Terrible take.
Yes.
Terrible take.
It's not. It does. I don't see that much potential on this, to be honest.
Well, obviously you're not a Corvette guy. Yeah, got some C5 action now. There we go.
American FD.
Yeah, yes. Yep, American FD or RX-7. Flood car.
All right, I'm all in best on this.
You're what?
I'm all in best on this.
You want
I like it.
It's red, which is also color on the Z06.
Yes, it has to be. It's just missing the chrome wheels. But come on.
I don't like that. I don't like the
Yeah,
chrome wheels.
I like the C5s have to be chrome wheels.
Do you want this shirt?
Yeah.
Like you deserve to be wearing this shirt,
Yeah,
right? I'm gotta get you one of these, you know. Red interior too. Like
Yes.
This is it's a nice car. This
Yes.
looks like somebody's baby.
Yes.
53,000 miles. That's got to be, what's the term? Heart-wrenching to see that happen to your car, to get it flooded when you obviously cared about it, because it's a stock Z06, which on a C5, unless it's an all-out race car, I'd argue this is probably the best way to experience it. Maybe heads, cam type thing would be cool, but beautiful.
Look at the interior. It's mint.
It is. Everything about this car is mint. It even looks like it has the factory titanium exhaust, which, if you didn't know, C5 Z06s, titanium exhaust. Crazy. It doesn't run, but,
Hear me out.
yeah, hear me out. These cars aren't complex. It's a C5 Corvette. It is a 2004 Chevy. No matter what got flooded, no matter how bad it is, unless it was up to like the windows, which I don't think.
It doesn't show the water level.
Yeah, there's no water line marked on here. Let's see, can we see anything on the interior that leads you to believe it got high? I mean, the seats, I can't tell, like right there on the seats, it almost looks like water, dirt, but it also could just be cracking dry leather.
Mm-hmm. Chevy quality.
It's 21 years old, so make it a pass, you know? It's a complete gamble because you don't know how high the water got, but it's a gamble that I'd like to take. That's a cool
$8 grand.
I think it goes higher than that.
You think
I
so?
think this car sells for like $12,000, maybe even a little more. But because it's so clean, because they're so hard to find in this shape, I'm going with four white shoes.
Yes.
Okay.
Deserve it.
We've been agreeing too much. This is weird. Like, we usually don't agree on all these. This has been a very smooth. Let's make editing really easy, you know? Where to next? Take it. Let's see what we got. Number 1?
Yeah.
Ooh. So this probably isn't the best representation of a salvaged Corvette because,
Yes.
I mean, look at it. So Copart has this, I guess, partner company, or maybe it's a division called Crash Toys, where they send, like, the coolest of the cool stuff and, like, power sports stuff like ATVs, side-by-sides, and whatnot. This Corvette ended up there. At first glance, it almost looks like the bumper is just ripped off of it. I don't think that's completely the case, because you can kind of see, you know, the exhaust, that's bent a little bit. This tub, that the hood's damaged.
Yep.
That's the trunk.
What do you mean?
Oh,
What do you mean?
yeah, it is technically the hood.
Yes.
I stand corrected. It is the hood. It's just in the
Yes.
back. Yeah, I kind of forget on these things.
Uh-huh.
It's a little too new and fancy for me.
Look at the driver rear wheel.
Driver rear wheel.
On my eyes, it looks like it pushes forward a little bit.
Let's see, driver rear wheel. Ooh, you know what? That wheel kind of sort of does look out of place. Which, it takes a lot to total a car that's this valuable, so makes sense, right?
Yeah.
878 miles. Ugh, that sucks. That honestly sucks.
Oh.
You know, I haven't really looked at C8 Z06s. I haven't been in the market to buy one. It's kind of changing my mind a little bit. Like, this
Yeah.
would be cool. Now, Anyway, let's back on track here. We're not here to
Yes.
spend a ton of money. That's what the other videos are for. There's one thing that kind of scares me, though, and that's the fact that it says mechanical damage as well. Now, that could be for the suspension. Could be. Or there could now be something wrong with the driveline because of this wreck. Not that it's necessarily going to be that hard to fix, but it's almost a certainty that whoever decides to buy this will not price that into their bid,
Yeah.
and it'll just keep running up. It'll cost a ton of money. And if it does indeed have mechanical damage, like serious mechanical damage, it will be a problem for somebody.
Big
So,
problem.
oh man, beautiful car, low mileage, really not that bad of a wreck in the grand scheme of things. Oh man, I don't know. I don't want to put it down low, but the
you're gonna risk
fact
it.
that there's a good bit of risk there that I think people will ignore and therefore make it more expensive than it should be.
Yeah,
I'm going with 2, which
me too.
for such an awesome car that sucks, but
Yep.
you know, salvage auction and whatnot, it just kind of is what it is.
That's what it is. Ooh.
Oh man, that's rough. That's not good. Oh, this is a convertible too. Look at that.
Yes.
This was a convertible.
Well. Are you looking for a cheap for?
It will be cheap, and I just realized this is one of those ones that makes you like lean up in your seat. I got real in on it. Ooh, hold on now. We'll get to this damage because that's important. It's probably the main story here. But look at the engine bay. First thing that caught my eyes is this lower pulley. That's not factory. We had a modified convertible Z06. Definitely aftermarket. Oh, and a aftermarket upper pulley too. So we got a few mods, a few modifications, which may partially be to blame for why it looks like this. But oh, look at the top engine bay picture, the one top down. It's got a Kong throttle body too, an aftermarket throttle body. It's hard to see, but you can see that Kong performance engraving there, which I'm not caught up on my C7 stuff like I probably should be. But does that mean it's maybe a 2650 blower? Maybe a Kong ported blower? If they have a Kong throttle body, they probably didn't just do that. So there might be some real goodies in this car, and that is what we like to call opportunity, you know?
Yes. Cheap opportunities.
Should be cheap, but on the other hand, it also could be cracked. Like that block could be ripped away from the motor mounts. It could just be nasty. But I'm liking it. I'm liking it, which says a lot about me as a person, probably not in a great way. I'm getting more hyped about this than I was the nice Z06 we looked at earlier.
It's crazy you have those aftermarket modes in the engine, but if you look like the rear wheels, stock wheels.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, maybe gotta put some tires on it, but we never know what happened with the wreck. It clearly was on its roof. The windshield is flattened. It's clearly not an awesome car. There's going to be a limit to how much money you can get out of it because of how damaged it is. But if it goes for the right price, which something that looks like this could very well go for the right price, what are you ranking it?
I would say 5.
5? Oh, okay.
It's a cheap swap.
It
and I will
might
risk
be
it.
a cheap swap.
But I don't know. I'm on it. I will say 4. Being more generous.
He goes 5. I'll go 4.
Yeah.
4.5 New Balances. Next up, 2010 C6 Z06 in yellow. Classic Corvette color. I mean, there's got to be. Yep, right there.
Some people hate them. Personally, I love them.
I'm not the biggest yellow vet fan, but hey, it's never a bad day to have a C6 Z06, right? First things first, this does not really look that damaged, right?
Mm-hmm. And what really caught my attention is the roof.
Me too, but I can't tell if it's black or carbon fiber.
Yes.
Or if it is carbon fiber, is it wrapped carbon fiber or is it a ZR1 roof? If it's a carbon fiber ZR1 roof, money.
Yes.
Under the hood, almost surprisingly, because it does look like a really, aggressive car from the outside, pretty much stock. It's got an intake. I think I see a set of long tube headers down there. Not quite sure, but stock intake manifold, 77,000 miles. Actually a little bit high for a Z06.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people drive them. I don't know why. It's usually the people wearing shirts like this that don't drive them. But it's idling in the picture. And this is always something good to pick up in pictures at the auction if you can. there's good oil pressure. If it's idling, try to find the oil pressure gauge. You see this one, 60 pounds of oil pressure, you know you got a good motor.
Bueno, we know it's an easy fix.
Yeah, this is easy. I mean, easy. So, I know rear quarter panel damage is always kind of scary, but on Corvettes, they just pull off. You unbolt them. It's not like a normal car where you have to cut it off, where you have to do a bunch of body work. You just replace it. It's not that hard. On the rebuildability scale, I think I said that right?
Yes.
9.8 out of 10.
Yes.
Very easy. The problem that comes along with that, of course, is cost. So it's not going to be a 5 New Balance or above, but it's such a good car, and that has to count for something.
You will have to pay the price for it, right?
Exactly. Sometimes it's worth it paying the price, and this is probably one of those times.
Yeah.
What do you say? I'm going for.
Yes.
On another note, though, one place you should never be okay with paying too much is your car insurance.
Definitely.
See what I did there?
Yes.
Yeah, here we go. Luckily, though, with the sponsor of today's video, Insurify, overpaying for car insurance, it's a thing of the past. Insurify puts the insurance companies in competition for your business, meaning they're going to hit you with their best offer right off the jump. It's the fast, free, and transparent way to shop around for insurance. You just answer a few quick questions about yourself and your vehicle usage, enter a few details about your car, and Insurify shows you all the available offers. Not only are you going to get the best rate possible, but you can be insured in minutes, which means no more sitting on the phone with some insurance agent for a half an hour, which I think we can all agree, outside of the whole paying too much thing, is far and away the worst part about dealing with insurance.
Stop wasting your time.
And money. Guys, it is essentially free money, and it takes like 2 minutes. So when you're ready to see what Insurify can do for you, click the link down in the description and make the insurance companies work for your business. Despite what this might say, this normally wouldn't be my style, okay? It's one of those Indianapolis 500 pace car edition C6s. It's orange, which is cool, but it's a convertible, which not the biggest fan of. This one, though, 1,947 miles.
That's a cool thing.
That's cool. Any way you slice it, that's cool. It looks like they made 500 of these.
Wow.
Only 500. Now, I'm sure a lot of these things probably got kept in a garage and got driven very little. So the mileage probably isn't that rare, but it's weird to see one that made it out of the garage. I think that's the weird part here, right? It made it out of the garage and actually got wrecked. But kind of just like some of the ones we saw earlier, like that yellow Z06, that rear quarter damage, it's really not that bad. This one's an automatic. It's got the atomic orange. I see your disappointment when I said automatic.
Yeah.
But it's got the atomic orange, like kind of painted interior. That's pretty cool. It's the shirt making me say stuff like this for sure.
Serious question.
Let's hear it.
Will you own a convertible C6?
Probably not.
Exactly.
There are very few cars that I like convertible. That's not one of them.
Yes.
Just not one of them. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, how cool would it be to buy something like this and just make it like everything that this car shouldn't be? Like ignorant blower hanging out of the hood, you know, slicks on the back. The opposite of a collector car, and do it like an Indy 500 edition like this.
That would be awesome.
Now I'm interested.
Yes.
Now I'm interested. Either way, what are we ranking it? It is clean. It's got to go for a lot of money. It just has to.
Yes.
We're kind of like stuck in that middle zone with cars like this, is because as much as you might want something as easy as a fix as it might be, it's still going to pull money. Like it's not going to be a deal. And part of this whole ranking system, which is super official, trust me, is it's got to be a good deal too, right?
Yes. Middle.
3?
Yes.
I'm stuck on 3 and 4. You know what? I think 3's fair.
Yes.
It's a convertible. Put it at a 3.
Yeah. Oof.
There's something wrong here.
Yes.
Now, when I did this search, I searched Corvette. I went right up to the search bar on top of Copart. Did that. This one still showed up, but it's listed as a 2019 Camaro ZL1.
Can be good. Oh! Something interesting happening.
What's that?
Look at the picture of the big number.
What? Yeah, this is odd.
Right?
So, yeah, it's clearly the wrong VIN for the car. I guess like the whole like misvend thing aside, maybe it's a clerical error by Copart. They'll certainly fix it before it actually runs at auction. It's flat, right?
It can be wrapped.
Yeah,
or
it's-
it can be a color with a matte PPF also.
Yeah.
But it looks decent.
Yeah, it's not bad. Now, unfortunately, there's really not much to go on here. It
Vandalism.
kind
Oh,
of... It just looks like a stock ZR1, basically. The center console, is that pulled apart?
a little bit.
So the center console's off. Maybe it was a theft car.
Definitely.
Now, is that spoiler? That's aftermarket, isn't it?
That's
not
what
a
I was
factory
looking.
spoiler.
It looks like it's between OEM and aftermarket, but
It doesn't look bad, but like
yeah.
the factory ZR1 spoilers are money, so it kind of sucks to see one that's aftermarket. Wow. So the clear coat is
turn.
peeling off the carbon,
Yeesh.
I guess, heat extractor that goes on top of the
Yeah.
blower. That's weird. So this thing had to sit outside for quite some time. Who does that to a ZR1? This has to be a stolen car that got ditched somewhere. Maybe it is wrapped because of that. They'll often wrap stolen cars for, obvious reasons. And if that VIN is actually on this car and it's not a clerical error, well, it kind of makes sense, right?
Yes, all the sense in the world.
I don't know. For me, I don't think it's going to go that far under what you would just buy a normal ZR1 for. And with all the question marks, I'm going 2.
Me too.
2 shoes. I have to make a disclaimer. I have seen this car. I've looked through all the pictures prior, before we decided to do this, because it's something I wanted to buy. This one is interesting, I guess. First and foremost, look at the rear window.
Yes. What is that?
Pow! Yeah, so there's obviously bullet holes in the rear window. Obviously, this car had some kind of forced induction, a blower. You can see the bracket right here in the engine bay still. They took the blower off of it. They left the BTR intake manifold on it.
I like the style.
This car has been ran through. Like this is a wild one. You can also see way back in the engine bay here, there's a green clutch line. It's a remote bleeder, so it has a monster clutch, twin disc, triple disc, who knows? What is this vandalism?
No way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, vandalism. Yeah, it was just shot. Okay.
It was shocking.
So this strikes me as like a takeover car, like something that somebody stole and then used in a takeover and then just ditched, and people came and ripped stuff off of it. Kind of seems like
Makes
the
sense
case.
like that, yeah.
I actually think I'm gonna go try to look at this car in person because it's so unique. Like I kind of want to look at it. I kind of want to buy it. It's right up the street. It's in Pennsylvania, so it's like an hour and a half away from us. What do you rank it at?
I go with a 4 with this.
I'm gonna go 5 just because I think it's cool and interesting. It's obviously a piece of junk, but hopefully everybody sees that and it stays cheap so I can buy it. Let's pick one of the IAA cars next.
Okay.
First one from IAA. I can't see the pictures right now. I forget what car that is, but it is... Oh.
Which one?
Yeah, it was listed as a ZR1. It's not really ZR1ing anymore. Right there.
Oh.
It was a ZR1.
Orange ZR1.
Yeah, and unlike the one we looked at earlier, they didn't leave the engine. They didn't leave anything.
They get the job done.
Yeah, good job of thieving, I guess. Like, you did it. You won the game. Like, they left the rear end, which is cool. Like, there's a spoiler.
Transmission
There's some
also.
interior. Maybe. No, the...
Trans is there.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, torque tube. Cool. You hadn't got that far yet. If this is straight, which again, is a question mark, because of that frame rail there, it looks like it's missing a piece off the front end.
Looks like if they cut it, right?
Kind of, yeah. So maybe that's kind of a wash anyway. But, well, theft cars, a lot of times, you can get a good chassis that hasn't been wrecked. You can then go out and buy a heavily wrecked car. Combine the two, you got yourself something nice.
Imagine if you get another one with a rear end damage. You get everything for it.
It's a good
for
point.
cheap.
Now, that's a good point. If you bought another one, even if this title comes back dirty, you could cut the rear end of this one off.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that. You know what? See, now you're thinking. I wasn't seeing it on this one, but now you're convincing me. All right, well, it's certainly going to be cheap. Probably the cheapest ZR1 that's sold in quite some time. What are we thinking? You know,
I can even see the title of the video. I bought the cheapest C701.
Yeah, you got the vision on this one. I'm gonna let you rank it.
4. Come on.
My favorite car, maybe of all time. I was almost gonna say Corvette, but C601 might be my just favorite car
The king.
of all time. It is the king of vets for sure. Now this one's cyber gray, same color as my first vet.
Ugh, the first thing that I can see. Passenger rear wheel.
Yeah, it's missing.
And a carbon disc
Yeah,
to the floor.
and that's kind of rough. That sucks. Yeah, so I don't know what happened to this. I don't know why the wheel's off of it, but it certainly got a lot worse as soon as this brake rotor touched the ground. That basically means it's trash, unfortunately.
How much is that at that point? How much is one?
Used
rotor?
evens $1,500, $2,000. Crazy. Now this is listed as theft. There's a lot of stolen cars in Alabama.
Whew.
It's the new Detroit, apparently. Wow. Actually, maybe like Detroit is the Mopar hotspot of stolen stuff. Alabama's stolen vet central.
Yeah.
Crazy. I didn't know there was that many people in Alabama, much less stolen Corvettes. It's stock?
Ooh, that's impressive. Especially for a ZR1.
Yeah, since when do stock ZR1s exist anymore? Actually, I think I see a set of long tube headers, but it's stock intake. The car, I mean, there's really no debating it. The car is sick.
Yes.
It really doesn't look like there's that much damage. There's got to be something more to this. Like, a thief's not just going to take it, remove a wheel, and ditch it.
It caught my attention that they can't show the mileage.
Yeah, there's no keys, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, missing key. It says it right there. This car, if it was clean, let's just call it 40,000 miles. Probably about average for a C6 ZR1. $70,000 car, if it's clean title. A salvage title one that's already rebuilt, whew, I don't know, probably 60 to 62. Like, they're right there. So this one, what's this go for? 50 grand? It sounds like a lot, and I'm sure your reaction hearing that's probably like, that's stupid. And yeah, I think it's dumb too, but that's just how it goes. Limited cars like this, where everybody who wants one is watching it, yeah, you're not getting a steal, unfortunately, and this is going to be one of those.
Still a ZR1.
I know.
Yeah.
You're going to have to pony up if you want it.
Yeah.
I'm going right in the middle. No, I can't. I got to go up one.
Yeah.
Four for me.
4.
I almost hit it in the middle because it's just a car that got stolen with a missing wheel.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to be a deal, like I said. You get 1 point for being a ZR1. Just
Yes.
automatic 1-up.
Yep.
Okay. Now, might as well just do it. There's one more ZR1 at IAA.
Oof.
And this one is yellow, which is pretty rare.
Really?
This one's in New York, and this one actually has some decent damage. It ain't like the last one. This one got whacked. Or whacked. Maybe it did the whacking. Okay. This one should be significantly cheaper. It does, however, only have
4,500 miles.
Yeah, that's wild, right?
Do you think it's that bad to fix?
Look at that front view. You see the headlight that's just like hanging off like a sad lazy
Yeah.
eye? I don't know, man.
Can be framed, right?
It's like we don't really have an awesome look at the damage here. Maybe if we pull up the 360 view, that doesn't really help us that much. You can kind of see up there, I don't know, that whole corner dripped off. And the problem with this is they're aluminum frames. Once you kink that aluminum frame,
Gone.
it's difficult to fix. And I know all too well, unfortunately, that a vet that isn't right, a vet that's not perfectly straight, maybe let's say, you know, one wheelbase from side to side is an inch off from the other one. They are very twitchy, they're very unpredictable, real easy to slide it into a ditch.
But just for the engine and that mileage, I think it's gonna pull a lot of money.
Yeah, that engine, the engine with the blower, the harness, everything, is worth like 25 grand alone. This is going to pull a lot of money for a parts car even. It's right on that line again. Like, it's a great parts car. It's certainly, it could be rebuilt. Like, you probably should rebuild it. It's a ZR1. There's not that
Yeah.
many. Like, let's keep these things on the road if we can. I think this thing goes for like $35,000. I've watched a few of these at auction over the years, and I feel like I have a pretty good gauge on them. 35 grand. Do you think that's worth it?
Yes.
Okay. All right, yeah, I mean, the engine's worth what it is. The driveline's worth a lot of money. You have that carbon fiber roof.
Yeah.
Like,
I was
that's
about to say
a
that.
ton of money. Like,
Brakes gonna be in great condition.
yeah, Yeah, you could probably pay 35 grand for this and make some good money in the parts market. If I'm treating it like a parts car, actually, I think I'm going 5 out of 5. But if it's a rebuilder, I'd probably say more like a 3 because
Yes.
the parts that you're going to have to source for this thing, like that ZR1 carbon fiber fender, is the rear quarter panel damaged? No, luckily
No.
it's not. That like
Door.
front carbon ceramic, that there's some parts here, mainly that fender, along with the front bumper, that are going to be very, very hard to source. They don't make them anymore. I thought that last ZR1 was like the last stock ZR1.
Nope.
This one actually is stock. This does not have long tubes, right?
This is the stock of the stock.
Yeah, that's factory. This is like showroom collector edition ZR1 that found itself here.
This
I don't know.
definitely was somebody's baby.
Yeah, just a nice bet. I think we've only got one more left, and I can't see the picture of it, but I can see the year of it and the link we're about to click, and I remember it. Consider this. You know what? You're welcome. All right, you're welcome.
Come on.
What's wrong?
Everything?
You know how much money somebody spent on this paint job?
Yeah, for nothing.
So this is one of those cars like somebody probably built a while back, and they put everything into it. Heart, soul, money, blood, sweat, tears, the whole 9 yards. It hasn't aged well. I think some of us can probably agree on that. It kind of looks like bass boat-ish, but
Sure. I like the wheels though.
the wheels do look tough.
Look like a three-piece wheel, right?
They do. You have to like.
Appreciate the build.
You do. You have to appreciate it. As much as easy as it would be to be like, this went out of style in the 70s. It's pretty cool. It's sad to see this happen to a car that somebody obviously cared about. Dude, the interior.
Ooh.
Like plush red, says rose in the door panel.
Rose.
Look at the steering wheel though. That thing
Is it-
fell apart. Where's the wheel? It's just steering now. Look at
Yeah,
the cover
baby.
on the dashboard.
Oh my god. It's like the entire interior like that.
It is.
His
This
manual.
this had to be a style at a point. All I know is the guy who drove this far cooler than I'll ever be. Under the hood, I don't have a clue what's going on. It's kind of before my time. Carburetors, unless they're on a four-wheeler, are kind of like just far in technology to me. What are we ranking this? I know what I'm ranking it. What's that, 2?
Yes. Just
Man.
because the wheels.
You know, for me, you know what? This doesn't have to make sense. We make the rules here. I'm going 5 plus some all the way up top. Quite the note to end on. All right.
Adios.
Well, we're not done yet.
The done?
We gotta
Oh.
let us know what you guys want to see next. I think we're gonna do like either budget or really expensive cars and try something different, or I don't know.
I think that now with that we start working on Supras, at least this in particular, we should do a JDM segment.
Best JDM cars from ranking JDM cars from auction. I don't know. It's up to you guys. Put it in the comments. Let me know what you want to see. We'll make it happen.
Oh, see. Adios.
Adios. You got it right that time.
Yeah.
That's the right adios.